Hello there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini. I'm Sharon Mascarenhas.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines.
Tamil politicians vehemently condemn the Northern Province Chief Minister's statement. Remains of the late senior journalist Lasantha Vikramatunga are to be exhumed tomorrow. MP Vimal Veeravansa has been questioned on the misusing of vehicles at the State Engineering Corporation during the previous regime. Stern legal action is to be taken against persons responsible for wildfires. The Colombian government and FARC rebels are to sign a historic agreement.
Moving on to the stories in detail. Tamil politicians vehemently condemned the statement made by the Northern Province Chief Minister at a protest rally in Jaffna recently. They pointed out that some statements of the Chief Minister was aimed at misleading the people in the North. It was also affecting the country's reconciliation process. A protest rally organized by the Tamil People's Forum was held in Jaffna recently under the patronage of the Northern Province Chief Minister C.V. Vigneshwaran. The protest demonstration was held demanding the authorities to solve the problems of the Tamil people. The protest march proceeded up to Rupavahini Stadium from Nallur Kovil in Jaffna. Addressing the gathering, Northern Province Chief Minister C.V. Vigneshwaran said that this rally was not against the central government or the persons who are now in power. It was also not aimed at Sinhala brothers and sisters or Buddhist priests or the Tamil National Alliance. He asked as to why they are erecting Buddha statues and temples in areas without Buddhist population. He questioned as to whether there were activities aimed at invading the area via religion. He also questioned about the settlement of Sinhalese in Tamil populated areas. He said that we have to ask from the authorities as to whether they were making an attempt to change the population pattern in those areas. However, the Tamil politicians and others had different views, vehemently condemning the statement.
By giving this type of cry or demonstration in the northern province, I must to say with much sadness that we are giving a wrong signal to the other major community in this country. They may be considering by the demonstration that the people of Jaffna or the Tamils at large do not wish a reconciliation, do not want a resettlement in a proper form. That is not correct. The Jaffna citizen today is very happy.
We believe as a government that this is the time to stand up as Sri Lankans, not separately as Tamils, separately as Sinhalese, separately as Muslims, but we are to stand up as Sri Lankans. This is the era of reconciliation, era of coexistence, I believe so. We have the freedom in this country to conduct rallies, protest marches, media conferences. Anybody can say anything, but within the framework of one Sri Lanka and no to violence. So that is the idea. So therefore, I believe Mr. Vigneshwaran in his deliberations had also stated about the single colonization in the north. But what we can do, we are already developing a process to come out with a constitution which would be accepted by everybody. We have everybody in the process of making constitution.
Minister Kabir Hashim noted that the Northern Province Chief Minister has no right to make such a statement. He expressed his regret for the stance taken by the Chief Minister. He added that as a party, they reject the statement.
Remains of the late senior journalist Lasantha Vikramatunga are to be exhumed tomorrow on an order issued by the Mount Lamania Chief Magistrate on the 8th of this month. The exhumation of the body of the late Lasantha Vikramatunga, buried at the General Cemetery, Borella, will take place under the supervision of the Hulsdorf Court No. 2 Magistrate at 8 a.m. tomorrow. The police security has been provided to the place of the burial since the issuing of the court order. Senior journalist Lasantha Vikramatunga was assassinated on the 8th of January 2009 by unidentified persons. The murder took place when he was travelling to his workstation. Various sectors of the society have demanded authorities to conduct investigations into the assassination of the late Mr. Wickrematunge. The court ordered to exhume his body as a result of an ongoing investigations and a request made by the Criminal Investigation Department. The CID has informed the court that there were discrepancies in the post-mortem inquiry report, the surgery report and the government's analyst report. Therefore, the court has granted permission to exhume the body as it is needed for further investigations.
Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa has been summoned at the Police Criminal Investigation Division this morning. He was asked to make a statement on the misusing vehicles at the State Engineering Corporation during the previous regime. Sarath Veeravansa, the brother of MP Vimal Veeravansa, has been remanded till the 5th of next month in connection with the incident. He served as a private secretary to Vimal Veeravansa when he was serving as the Minister of Housing and Construction during the previous regime. MP Veeravansa was accused of providing vehicles and fuel allowance of 6.2 million rupees from the Engineering Corporation to his brother. Foreign Ministry officials told the Colombo Fort Magistrate Court that the Russian government has informed that there was no Ukraine address for former Sri Lankan ambassador in Russia, Udayanga Veeratunge. This revelation was made when a report on the incident of purchasing 7 MiGs to the Air Force during the 2000 to 2006 period was presented in courts. FCID officials said that Mr. Veeratunge has failed to surrender his diplomatic passport so far. The court noted that the order on the request made by the FCID to issue an Interpol notice to apprehend Mr. Veeratunge will be given on the 30th of this month. The Medical Students Steering Collective today lodged a complaint at the CID today urging to conduct an investigation into the incident of taking parts of bones of the National Ruggerite Wasim Tajuddin's body. The CID has informed the court that the former Colombo Chief Medical Officer of Health, Professor Anand Samarasekar, has taken parts of the bones of Tajuddin. Parliamentarian Kumar Welgama has been summoned before the Colombo Chief Magistrate today. The case filed against him for incurring a loss of 3.2 million rupees to the government by appointing a deputy chairman to the SLTB, paying salaries and allowances to him against the Transport Act. Mr. Welgama has allegedly committed this massive loss. Notices were issued to former MP Tis Sattanayak to appear before the Colombo High Court on the 19th. This order was issued when the case was filed by the Attorney General against him for 3 charges, including the preparation of forged documents. He was accused of presenting a forged document claiming a secret agreement between Mr. Maithripala Sirisena, who was the common presidential candidate, and the then opposition leader Ranil Wickremesinghe.
The Finance Ministry calls upon retail and wholesale traders to pay 15% VAT only on the revenue accumulated on the sale of VATable goods, as several essential items have been exempted from VAT. Issuing a media release, the Finance Ministry noted that the retail and wholesale merchants whose daily turnover exceed 138,000 rupees will be brought under the threshold for the payment of VAT under the proposed VAT amendment bill. The VAT will be charged from them on the revenue accumulated on the sale of VATable goods. The new amendment to the VAT Act envisages imposition on 15% VAT instead of the current 11%. Although it appears that there is an increase in the rate, but in real terms, the quantum of payment to be made under the new amendment will come down due to the elimination of the hidden payment that was in the existing system.
57 years have passed since the demise of the former Prime Minister SWRD Bandaranaike, hailed as the silver-tongued orator of Asia. He was the pioneer of the populist era change which has directed Sri Lanka towards a new path in 1956. The name of Solomon West Ridgeway Dias Bandaranaike, who was born on the 8th of January 1899, has embedded in Sri Lanka history as a versatile politician who was committed to create common man's political culture. He received his preliminary education from the St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, and later entered the Oxford University for his higher education. He passed out as a barrister of the United Kingdom. The late S.W.R.D. Bandaranaike entered the State Council in 1936, uncontested, and represented the United National Party in the first election of Sri Lanka in 1951. He was the founding member of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party in 1951. Thereafter, he was elected to the premiership in the country in 1956. Several far-reaching measures such as nationalization of transport service, the ports, as well as transforming Vidyodaya and Vidyalankara Piravenas as universities, and the implementation of the Paddy Lands Act have been taken in accordance with the populist decisions of the late leader. His main aim was to direct the country towards the progressive path, integrating 5 great forces: Sangha, indigenous physicians, teachers, farmers, and the workers, making Sinhala language as a state language, and declaring the May Day as a holiday took place during the late S.W.R.D. Bandaranaike's government. He bade farewell to the nation on the 26th of September 1959, becoming a victim of a bullet of a conspirator clad in robes on the 25th of September 1959. Patience, human passion, determination, as well as simple and progressive vision were the main significant features of his character. His wife Sirumau Bandaranaike became the first woman Prime Minister in the world, and the daughter Chandika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga the first executive woman President in the world. Those were the significant milestones of Sri Lanka's political history. Well, the main ceremony organized to commemorate the 57th anniversary of the late Prime Minister S.W.R.D. Bandaranaike was held opposite the Bandaranaike Samadhi in Horogolla this morning. Chief Priest of the Attanagalla Rajamahawihare, the Venerable Pandita Dr. Sri Ananda Thera, conducted religious observances. Students of the Sri Sanghabodhi Vidyalaya recited the Bandaranaike commemoration song. School Cadet Corps accorded a guard of honor to the Bandaranaike Samadhi. Former President Chandika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, Sunetra Bandaranaike, and the Bandaranaike family members paid floral tributes at the Samadhi amidst the sounds of the police bugles. Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva paid floral tributes representing the President at the commemoration ceremony. The 16th commemoration of the late Prime Minister Sirimau Bandaranaike and the 8th commemoration of former Speaker of Parliament and the late Minister Anura Bandaranaike also took place to coincide with the event. Chancellor of the Kelaniya University, the Venerable Valamitiyave Kusaladhamma Nayaka Thera, the Anunayaka of the Siam Mahanikaya of the Asgiri chapter, the Venerable Anamaduwe Dhammadasi Nayaka Thera, and members of the Mahasangha were present. Former Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne, several ministers and MPs were among the large gathering that attended the commemoration ceremonies. A commemorative program was also held at the Tiharia Islamic Disabled Children's School in Nitambo to coincide with the Bandaranaike commemoration ceremony. Former President Chandika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga chaired the ceremony. Dry rations were distributed among low-income families, while disabled children received their uniforms and books at the occasion. Meanwhile, former President has made a donation of wheelchairs to the Watupitivili Hospital.
An international conference organized in connection with the Right to Information Day is to be held in Colombo on the 28th and 29th of this month. President Maithripala Sirisena will be the chief guest. International Right to Information Day falls on the 20th of this month. The right to information means the right to obtain and use public sector information and gain official information on public or state-owned institutions or persons. Sri Lanka has already enacted the Right to Information Bill. It will also be discussed at the international conference with the participation of around world-renowned mass media experts. A scholars forum has also been organized under various themes, including mass media regulation, to coincide with the event. Deputy Mass Media Minister Karunaratne Paranavithana said that they have been able to enact a bill at the highest level in the region. Sri Lanka has to implement this Right to Information Bill. Information Commission will also be established. The government is keen to train state officials towards this end. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has directed Mass Media Ministry today to expedite these activities. The Government Information Director General Dr. Ranga Kalansurya said that it is very important to share experiences of neighbouring countries like India, Pakistan and also Bangladesh. Information commissioners are to arrive in the island for this purpose. A scholarly research has been launched on existing broadcast ratings. Basic information on the research will be unveiled at the seminar.
Female athletes Gantika Tushari of Suryavava and Nimali Lianarachi, who brought fame to the motherland, international meets have been given the ownership of new houses at the Sayurupura housing scheme in Angulana, Marutua. Minister Sajith Premadasa handed over the keys of the two houses to the female athletes at a ceremony today. The ceremony was held during the Hambantara District Coordination Committee meeting. The value of a house was 4.5 million rupees. These two athletes had faced difficulties in attending sports practices in Colombo as they have no place to live in the city. Nimali Dinarachi of Dompeya area has won the gold medal in the 800-meter event in 2016 7th Asiatic Indoor Athletic Meet in Qatar and a bronze medal in the same event at the 6th Asiatic Indoor Athletic Meet. Gantika Tushari, a resident of Suravirugama in Suryavapa, has won silver medals in the 1,500 meters and 800-meter events at the same athletic meet. Minister Sajith Premadasa said the present government takes every possible step to give proper honour for such athletes, bringing fame to the motherland. The Mahavali and Environment Deputy Minister Anuradha Jayaratne says stern legal action will be taken against persons responsible for wildfires. He made this pledge when he addressed a ceremony in Gampola today. Well, several forests were destroyed in wildfires during the last few months. It has exerted threats and severe damages to biodiversity. Over 100 acres of land were destroyed in Ravanala sanctuary in a fire that erupted yesterday. Another fire was reported in Udukirinda area at a bird sanctuary there. Around 220 bird varieties are living in Udukirinda area. The police said that the dousing of the fire has become a difficult task due to the geological pattern in the area.
Senior government officials and other stakeholders are to finalize a roadmap and to discuss the way forward with regard to developing public-private partnerships in Sri Lanka at a national conference inaugurated in Colombo today. Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayake told the gathering that the government will unveil a plan to attract foreign direct investments into the country. This event, which includes a national conference, workshops and roundtable discussions, was organized with the assistance of the United States Agents for International Development in collaboration on the Finance Ministry. The aim is to assist the Sri Lankan government to meet the infrastructure needs of the country. U.S. Ambassador in Sri Lanka Atul Keshap said the U.S. government continues to support Sri Lanka to improve the enabling environment.
USAID is working closely with a host of government agencies in Sri Lanka to help them meet their democratic and economic reform goals. The Sri Lankan government, I'm very happy to say, is in the forefront of establishing these partnerships. To date, the United States government has provided more than $2 billion to Sri Lanka.
As you know, in the next 45 days, the 2017 budget would be presented, and the President and the Prime Minister has instructed me and our team to ensure that we lay a lot of emphasis on the public-private approach. And in order to ensure this happens, I think it is necessary for a very strong and acceptable, conducive political climate, giving the sense of stability that they exist from a government, with certain political decisions that we intend doing and ensuring that we keep up to certain promises that have been. I'm sure there will be a good platform to ensure the foreign companies coming in and invest in Sri Lanka without fear.
Long-term social and economic.
And now we bring you Asia News in a minute.
Indian Space Research Organization's Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle C-35, carrying 8 satellites for ocean and weather studies, successfully takes off from its spaceport in southern Sriharikota Island. Fishermen tied up their boats today at a harbour in northeastern Taiwan, one day ahead of Typhoon Maggie's expected landfall on the island. The former chief economist of the International Monetary Fund has told a slowdown in China is the greatest threat to the global economy. Chinese President Xi Jinping has sent a letter of congratulations to the scientists, engineers and builders who have formally completed construction on the world's largest radio telescope in southwest China's Guizhou province. A motorbike taxi service in Indonesia gives hope to people with disabilities as it brings income and job opportunities for them by ferrying passengers around the city of Yogyakarta with modified three-wheeled motorcycles.
A tour of Asia in a minute, and now we are back home. The final stage of the social aid program of Rupavahini Corporation Panamin Surakimu was held today. 1,000 children received school equipment at the ceremony. Panamin Surakimu program was launched to assist children affected by various natural disasters in the recent past. A large number of persons in public and private sectors as well as Rupavahini viewers have contributed immensely to make this event a success. The distribution of dry rations among the affected people and conducting of health camps and cleaning houses also took place to coincide with the Rupavahini social aid program. The token distribution of school equipment among 4 schools during the final stage of the program took place today under the patronage of Rupavahini Corporation Director General Professor Sunil Shah. School equipment including shoes, school bags and books were handed over as a token presentation for students in Telangapata Sri Ratnapala Vidyalaya, Vattala Roman Catholic Tamil School, Gotatua Mahavidyalaya and the Begama Mahavidyalaya.
An Iranian national attempting to smuggle hashish to Sri Lanka has been arrested in Nepal. Nepal police said that the Iranian national 34-year-old Vahid Mikarzamir was taken into custody along with 1.7 kilogram of hashish in his possession. Himalayan Times reported today that the Iranian national was arrested at the Tribhuvan International Airport by the Narcotics Control Bureau team during a routine screen examination. The contraband was hidden in his suitcase and was being sent to the Colombo via Mumbai of India, the police said.
Well, today is the 4th day of the Medical 2016 exhibition organized by the Karani University Medical Faculty. Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation is the official media sponsor.
The annual feast of the Church of Our Lady of Sorrows at New Chetty Street, Colombo was held yesterday. The hoisting of the flag took place on Friday the 16th. Novena Masses were held after the recital of the Holy Rosary, followed by the Litany of Our Lady, Mother of Sorrows. Daily Masses were conducted by the parish priest, Reverend Father Anthony Marsilian. Reverend Father Yesubalan delivered the sermon. Festival Masses were offered yesterday in all 3 languages. Reverend Father Reuben of South India and the first parish priest, Reverend Father Reginald, also participated. The head of the parish council, Edmund Fernando, graced the occasion. Soon after the feast mass, the procession of the statue of Our Lady of Sorrows began at 6:30 p.m., while also offering blessings to Our Lady of Sorrows to all the devotees.
We're now moving on to stock-related news. The all-share price index closed at 6,478.94 points. That's a drop by 0.27 points at the S&P SL20 index, closing at 3,593.26 points. That's an increase by 5.91 points at the end of the trading on the Colombo Stock Exchange today. The turnover was over 600 million rupees, and we have a summary of market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange. Welcome back. Moving on to international stories. FARC, the Colombia's biggest rebel movement, will sign a historic peace accord with the government today, aimed at ending a war that has lasted 5 decades and killed 220,000 people. The pact will be signed by Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos and a rebel fighter known as Elias Tomachenko in the city of Cartagena. in a process that took more than 4 years to finalize. 15 South American presidents, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and the US Secretary of State John Kerry are scheduled to witness the signing ceremony. More than 2,500 guests have been invited to wear white as a sign of peace, and Santos will add his signature to the 297-page accord with a pen made from a recycled shell used in combat. The signing ceremony will not officially close the deal, though. Colombians are being given the final say on endorsing or rejecting it in the October 2nd referendum.
Here's more foreign news in brief. The leader of the Nigerian Islamist militant group Boko Haram, Abu Bakr Shekau, appeared in a video posted on social media yesterday in which he rejected statements by the country's military that he had been seriously wounded. Last month, Nigeria's Air Force said it had destroyed senior members of the group, which has killed around 15,000 people and displaced more than 2 million in 7-year insurgency aimed at creating a state adhering to strict Islamic laws. "18 people, including 2 children, were killed when militants shot at a checkpoint north of Tikrit and then set off 2 bombs at the entrance to the Iraqi city in attacks later claimed by Islamic State. It was the first such assault since Tikrit, 150 kilometers north of Baghdad, were retaken from the ultra-hardline jihadist group in April 2015. The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince William and Kate, took a float plane out of Victoria towards their next stop on their Canadian tour, the city of Vancouver, where they were greeted by cheering crowds, many waving the Canadian flags. Italian fashion brand Dolce & Gabbana flew guests of their yesterday's Spring and Summer 2017 catwalk show to a warm, busy and traditional setting in one of the most flamboyant shows of Milan Fashion Week. Models followed, strutting, and tarantella music played and transporting their audience to the alleys of Naples in what appeared to be a mix between a market and a traditional village festival.
Well, let's see what we have in sports. Sri Lanka has won the bronze medal at the 5th Asian Beach Sports Festival being held at the Da Nang Nike Beach in Vietnam. In the beach volleyball semi-final, India beat Sri Lanka by 49 points to 26. India beat Pakistan and were qualified to play in the finals. Korea and Sri Lanka have won the bronze medals as there was no match for the 3rd place. Well, that's the action of the beach volleyball matches being held. And moving on, Gampha district has clinched the championship of the 28th National Youth Sports Festival with 130 bonus points. Sampath Ranasinghe of the Galle district was adjudged the best female athlete in over 20 years group. N.A. Nimali of Hambantota district was the best female athlete. Tivanka Pereira was adjudged the best under-20s best sportsman, while Hasini Praboda of Puttalam district received the award for the best sportswoman. The meet was held at the Vincent Dyer Stadium in Badulla. The Electrical and Mechanical Engineering Regiment has won the men's championship, the Sri Lanka Army's inter-regiment athletic meet. The 6th Women's Corps has bagged the women's championship. Over 1,000 sportsmen and women of 24 regiments participated in the athletic meet. S. Jayasinghe was adjudged the best sportswoman in the athletic meet. Himasha Ishan was the best sportsman of the year, and Vidusha Lakshani was adjudged the best sportswoman of the year. India beat New Zealand in their first test today by 197 runs, chasing a victory target of 433 runs. New Zealand were bowled out for 236 runs in their second innings.
And a quick check on the weather before we go. The Met Department says that strong winds at times can be expected to continue over the island and in the deep and shallow sea areas off the coast extending from Kangkasanturai to Pothuil via Colombo and Galle. Mainly fair weather will continue over most parts of the island.
With tomorrow's picture for you, we end the news and do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.